Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today is Bridezilla Saturday, with the craziest wedding stories from across Reddit. Am I the a-hole for saying that my brother-in-law should move the date of his wedding, or husband and I can't go? Our first post comes from the Am I the a-hole subreddit, posted by IntrepidDig446. A friend of mine from college is getting married at a destination I dreamed of going to for a long time, but was totally out of our budget. Her uncle owns a resort and has offered amazing discounts on rooms for her guests. We've had this planned for months, booked a room, arranged childcare, and RSVP'd and everything. Now, my brother-in-law wants to get married on the weekend of the wedding. They're not really doing anything, just a quick ceremony and party in my in-laws' backyard. It'll be more like a family barbecue than any kind of actual wedding. My husband wants to cancel everything so we can be in town. I don't want to cancel, for the reasons outlined above. We've argued about it. I suggested that his brother can just move it to another weekend, before or after. They don't have a wedding venue, vendors booked, or any out-of-town guests coming, or really anything that would stop them from being able to move it so that my husband and I can attend. It's just pure stubbornness. My husband isn't backing me up on this at all, and has definitely been talking some BS to his family about me, which I hate. He thinks I'm being entitled. If his brother was having a real wedding that had been planned for months and involved a ton of money and time, I'd feel differently. But as I said, it costs them nothing to just change the weekend. Am I the a-hole? Down in the comments, Anomi Moosehead123 says, "Not the a-hole. How on earth are you being entitled? You RSVP'd yes to your friend's wedding months before your brother-in-law announced his wedding, and your husband went right along with it. You made financial arrangements and booked childcare arrangements. And you're supposed to just renege on that because your brother-in-law decided on a whim to get married? And he expects you to cancel all of that to accommodate him? He's the one being grossly entitled. But your husband is the biggest a-hole in the situation. He's not only failing to support you to his family, he's actively poop-talking you to them? To me, that's unforgivable behaviour. You should go to your friend's wedding and leave your husband behind. He's going to deliberately make sure you don't enjoy yourself during what should be a great time. Then he can enjoy his entitled brother's barbecue. Mum changed wedding cake behind my back. Doesn't know that I know. What should I do?" Our next post comes from the Bridezilla subreddit, posted by LollyLuhu. "My fiance and I get married this fall, and the cake has been a huge point of contention with my mum. Long saga, but the gist of it is, we wanted a dessert bar, or a cheesecake, instead of a traditional cake. Mum initially insisted on having at least a small cake, just for us to cut. We compromised and got quotes. Right before we put the deposit down, she decided that having just a cake for us and not guests is tacky, so we needed to get a sheet cake to serve as well. We were annoyed because she was the one who suggested it. So we cut our losses and opted to do a tiered cheesecake and mini cheesecakes as we originally wanted. My mum would not let this go for 6 months. Then she decided to focus on pushing for a groom's cake. My fiance didn't want one. When I told her this, she said it's only really a groom's cake in name and not about what he wants. I told her a firm no multiple times, but she wouldn't give up. That brings us to this week. I got a text yesterday saying she was at the bakery and paid for the order. I got suspicious because I never included her in those communications. I called the bakery today and was told by a very apologetic employee that my mum had added a multi-tiered groom's cake with different fillings, flowers, the whole kit and caboodle. We still have a cheesecake, but I feel like it's gonna look silly next to what's essentially a wedding cake. My question now is, what do I do? She doesn't know that I know. I'm furious and hurt. Obviously, it's just a cake, but it's not really about that now. She went behind my back and crossed multiple boundaries after I told her no. Am I being a bridezilla for not letting her have a traditional wedding cake? Down in the comments, Nitinator says, Cancel it now, and give all your vendors a password that must be given before any changes are made. Acidic Talk says, change the delivery location to a shelter or a food bank. I like this one, but as that's technically stealing, I have to agree with the next comment. Lily McQueek says, I was gonna say, change the delivery to your mum's house. It's her cake. Let her have it at her house. Ratchet X says, let her eat cake. Am I the a-hole? Sorry it's so long. Posted by Lucy May Baby. I just got engaged in July. My fiance and I have been together for 5 years. I'm 22 female and he's 23 male. We are truly a match made in heaven. For context, I removed my father from my life due to him being a narcissist. My mother is a loving mother, but her communication is very toxic. I'm always in the wrong. I'm always the bitch. I'm always the bad guy. But she's always been there for me. My siblings are all too young to ask. I have no friends to talk about this with. I work from home, and I've had recent health issues that makes it hard for me to leave the house for long. I should also add that both our families live out of state, except for our parents and our siblings. Anyways, after the engagement, it was beautiful. It was like we're in this bubble, and nobody could pop it, just enjoying and appreciating each other. Then you get the phone calls or visit family, and they all ask, what's the plan? When's the wedding? Did you pick a date? What venue? What colours? Etc. And it truly got to me. I had no idea, and I started to like wedding nest. We both agreed to get married in the cooler weather, which is only February or March where we live. At that time, February and March of 2024 was 7 to 8 months away. I told my mother this, and she said it was very soon, which was odd because she loves my fiance. And prior to the engagement, she'd ask him and me when we were going to get engaged all the time. She'd even call him my husband before the engagement. About a month later, my mother informed me that my aunt has breast cancer. In the weeks that followed that, my mother brought up the wedding to my aunt, and my aunt apparently said she hopes the wedding isn't too soon, and that we push it back because she doesn't want people to see her without her hair. I love my aunt, but again, she lives out of state. We only text happy birthday and Merry Christmas. Every 1.5 to 2 years, she visits for a week and we'll go to the beach or to dinner together, but that's it. We're not close. I've graduated from college and the plan has always been to go back and go into a program for either radiology or sonography, but my school didn't have a sonography program at the time. Both programs are full-time and 2 years long. I just found out in September that my school was opening a sonography program in 2024 of May, which is the dream. So the February 2024 wedding was looking even better. I have a learning disability, so it takes me longer to learn. I've already saved up enough money so I don't have to work while I'm in school. That has always been the plan. This program is very strict. I won't know what I can and can't do until I'm in it, but I'm sure I can't go up to my future professor and say, oh hey, I need 8 days off from school so I can get married and go on a honeymoon. It would then also jeopardize my career. Please note, these programs only allow 1 failed test. So here's my options. Option 1, get married in now what is only 3 months away, February 2024. My aunt won't be able to come, and my mother will be heartbroken that she isn't there. My mother literally said to me that she'd be uncomfortable if my aunt weren't there. She even said that I'd be kicking her down to rock bottom while she's fighting for her life. I know for a fact that if we chose this option, my mother would be in negative energy on my wedding day, and I don't have friends, as mentioned, so no bridesmaids. It'd just be my mother and my younger sister in the bridal room. Option 2. Get married during the school year, risk my education and career from the wedding planning. Please note, my fiance works 12 to 14 hour days, 6 days a week. He's not going to be calling venues or communicating with a coordinator while at work. But I found a loophole to get married during the March 2025 spring break. It's 5 days off from school. We could get married, push back our honeymoon until I'm done with school, and I just go back to class on Monday. Option 3. wait until I'm done with school, which would be 2026, then wedding plan. So add another 6 months to a year. So it could go into 2027. Also, I want to add that my fiance has an older sister and they're about to get engaged very soon. Her dream wedding date is March. She made that very clear. It was literally the first thing she said to us when we called her to tell her we were engaged. She's very desperate for marriage. It's all she ever talks about, so if they did get engaged this year, her date would then be March of 2025, which means option 2 is out of the question, and we don't want to wait this long to get married. Before you say, just go to the courthouse and elope. If we did that, we'd have to invite immediate family, and as I mentioned in the beginning, we have issues. It'd be awkward. Honestly, that's what I originally wanted anyway, but my fiance and both our families wanted a wedding, and after Ashley signed to plan one, now I want one. F me. I should note that the wedding would be under 30 people, so nothing big and crazy. My aunt knows everyone except for my fiance's side, which is smaller than my side. So what do you think? I'm so lost. Rather than you risking your entire career or having to wait 4 years to get married, can't your aunt just wear a wig? Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.